I have seen in our capital for a long time. This is an abject betrayal on the part of Mitch McConnell, the leadership that we have shared with our audience, and I apologize for the images that you see as a result. It is an absolute shame. It is appalling that the President of the United States has to put up with such Lilliputians as the Republican leadership of the GOP conference in the Senate.
The problem is that I see, too, is that this makes our party no better than the left. The Democratic Party right now is divisive on a multitude of levels.
Right.
So why are we any better at this point? What we had up until now was a semblance of unity at some point, which now is obviously being subverted. And I also think that the larger problem is that it's not only undermining the president's authority, but also the electorate. It's undermining the voters, right, who put him in office.
Absolutely.
And who supported this.
They're telling every American who voted for this president, go to hell. We do not care. We have a sinecure in the Senate, and we will exhaust it before we grow a spine, acquire a principle, or certainly a dollop of courage.
Prior administrations have been continuing to fail at diplomacy with Mexico and southern countries in terms of stymieing the cartels in growing influence down there and the resulting push factors that push hundreds of thousands, millions of immigrants over our borders, and also drugs and other things that have permeated our entire state. So if those congressmen and senators actually cared about all of the factors from which the southern border flows, then you would think that they would be on board with this kind of creative and novel way to deal with it. But instead, there's an absolute refusal.
What I believe we're watching the Chamber of Commerce do, and I think, again, can we show the leadership of the U.S. Senate GOP conference? Because this is a picture says, I don't know how many words, 10,000, 20,000. This is an endless book we're looking at. Because they are reprehensible in what they're doing. Their families have to understand what traitors they are to their conference, to their party, and to the country. This president, I think it couldn't be clearer. When the Chamber of Commerce and the most powerful business lobby in all the world comes together to stop tariffs on Mexico, and for the purpose of securing the border, stopping illegal immigration, it's got to be clear why it's important for those senators to stand up for this president, the only one who's done anything to even slow illegal immigration.
And I think that resistance, it oversimplifies the problem and also the economics of it, which is that and it also models inappropriately a kind of refusal to even negotiate with the president or to have some type of discussion or to support him and say, look, at this point, it's even.
Do it while he's in London, overseas. I mean,
it's quite transparent.
Yeah, and you make a terrific point. This is the rhino Republican establishment in the Senate aligning and allying itself with the radical Dems of the House. Now, that is a hell of a combination, isn't it? The American people, we're witnessing something that has never, ever occurred in this country before. And it is, Gerald Nadler talks about constitutional crises. This is a crisis of conscience, of soul for the country. And if these haggard, tired leaders of the Republican Party on Capitol Hill sell out this president, it is going to be a terrible day in America.
And without that unity, then that's when the